Greetings YouTube, it's the Brain Damage Gamer here, and I have a BDG review for everyone. There is one little point I do want to preface the entire review with. The beginning of this game can be hard to watch if you're a person that does not do well with scenes of extreme violence and gore. They put your character through the ringer, and when you start at the beginning of the game, you justly feel like you have a right to be breaking a lot of stuff around you. You learn how to use your legs again pretty quick. I will have some more footage for this game at a later time, but for right now, let's go ahead and just take a quick look at the Surge. You may notice the footage that I have playing for this is going to be some pretty difficult combat that I encountered. That is one of the things I really want to stress about this game, is the Souls-like genre that has kind of sprung up over the past few months and years has really started to take off, and a lot of people are calling this a Souls-like game in space. And I think that's a pretty fair moniker to give it. The game itself is very fun, and there's a lot of different set pieces you can see, a lot of different areas that are interesting and very well carefully crafted and created for you to look at. The enemies are quite punishing. Even basic enemies that you encounter can very easily and very quickly kill you, especially early game. One of the things that is nice about this, though, is that it's not permanently punishing. Your gear that you have collected, you end up collecting scrap. You can go and pick it back up as long as you don't die again. So there's that kind of balance there. Also, the game does reward you if you kill more enemies without swinging by a med center to get your health back or to replenish your usable health packages. If you go longer, you end up picking up extra multiplier, so you get more and more gear the longer you're out. But it is that obvious balance of, well, I don't want to stay out too long, because if I do, I'm going to end up losing all this stuff I'm currently carrying. That's the other thing to keep in mind, is that you have to be careful about where you run out at. If you run out of energy, the ability to heal too far away from your base, you're going to lose all that scrap that you went to the trouble of collecting. It's a pretty interesting little system. One of the things I do like about this game is that the combat involves any enemy being able to be killed as long as you are able to make the fight. Which seems kind of stupid, but there's a lot of games that when you go to fight against certain enemies, it's like, oh, that one's just too powerful a level, you're only going to do 1 damage per hit. There is obvious damage reduction in this, but you still do enough damage to feel like you're accomplishing something while you're striking an enemy. The thing to keep in mind with this is, if they're too high of a level, the gear's too good for you, you will take a lot of damage from a single hit. Which kind of leads you into this balance of, well, this guy's a lot stronger than me, or I might be able to destroy this robot, but I have to be careful, because if they even bump me once, I'm just dead. In this footage, you'll even see that I actually do fight some enemies that I should not be fighting, but I managed to beat them just because I do a lot of dodging, and go up and hit, dodge again, go up and hit, dodge again. Basically, the stronger you are compared to the enemy, the less you have to worry about dodging. Without ever really having to truly not worry. I went back to one of the starting areas after I'd already, been a couple of levels up and already fought a couple bosses. I was like, oh, I got this. A few of the starting enemies just wiped me out because I wasn't paying attention and didn't appropriately dodge. I got overconfident. And with that, the combat is very smooth and fluid. You aim at specific parts of enemies and decide which parts of those enemies you want to attack. It's something it teaches you early on, and I highly recommend you get practiced in. If at all possible, try to attack areas of enemies that are unprotected if you're not trying to collect gear. If you're trying to collect gear, like let's say I want a helmet, I need to cut that guy's head off. So you'll have to do finishing moves involving removing someone's head. But that is one of the things I do enjoy about the game, is the fact that you can pick specifically what you need. If I need a pair of legs in order to upgrade a certain set of gear, and I've already got the chest piece, I've already got the arms, I don't have to worry about the luck of the draw. I'll target the legs and then try to cut a leg off and get that piece of gear so I can research it and then go make that piece I need. It's something that a lot of other games make you think that you're doing and you're not. This is a 1-for-1. Yes, you have a chance of not being able to cut that gear off, but you could always try to attack another enemy and do the same thing, aim at the same points. If it's a respawnable enemy, you can go back to the med bay and then retrace your steps and go attack that same enemy again, trying to get that. Early on in the game, that's how I ended up picking up some of the Rhino gear, is I went and retraced back and fought this one guy multiple times in order to slowly remove all the parts I needed in order to get a full set of Rhino gear. Gear I turned out to not want to use later, but hey, I had the option of getting it. With that said, there are multiple ways to upgrade your gear. You can upgrade the individual gear pieces, so obviously you can swap those out, get new ones. There's also different weapons, so again, I want a weapon a person's carrying, I attack the arm that they're carrying it in, and cut that arm off, so now I have the weapon. There's also proficiency, so let's say I go ahead and get myself that shiny new weapon. The more I use that weapon, the more proficient I get with it, the faster I can attack, the stronger I can attack, etc., depending upon what the weapon is. Some of them I noticed the proficiency does do different things on. There's a lot of debate online about that, because some people are saying it does, and other people are saying it doesn't affect attack speed, it only affects power. I've not really noticed a perceptible difference between that. I have noticed more damage, that's about it. Now, I did want to go ahead and go into a couple of the cons for this game. There is a lot of grinding. Yes! I finally got that one! Aw, man, he didn't drop anything, I forgot to execute him. Damn it! If you want to get your character properly tricked out, you may have to go to an area and fight dozens of people to get all the appropriate gear and make sure that you actually cut off all the various parts that you need. It can be a little bit of a slog. And if you want to collect scrap in order to make parts, you're going to have to fight multiple enemies repeatedly sometimes. The starting area, me personally, I didn't leave it for well over an hour because I was grinding trying to get my stuff up, and then moved into the next area and had to kind of start the process over again. One of the other cons to keep in mind, and it's the con of all Souls-like games, so for some people this isn't a con, it's part of the game, is that a minor mistake can instantly kill you. You misstep, you accidentally step forward a little bit too far and get hit, or maybe you misstep too far to the back and fall off a cliff. There are lots of insta-death cliffs in this game that can work towards and against you. Some of your moves make you do things like backflips or dodge or roll when you finish the move. And if you're not paying attention, you can finish a combo set right off the edge of a cliff because you flipped backwards at the end of it. It's one of those things to keep in mind at all times. It's very much a game of awareness of your surroundings. They do the Souls thing, though, where you'll go around certain corners, and those corners are trap corners, and there's somebody immediately there. It's kind of a common tactic at this point, to be perfectly honest. And something that a lot of people have gotten to the point of expecting in games like this. But, all of that said, what's the final verdict on this? Well, I would like to think that this game is well and truly deserving of a 9 out of 10. I think that the game itself has just a couple of those minor issues with the grinding. The overall combat and the ability to do things in the game is just absolutely phenomenal. It doesn't feel like a port. It's got lots of settings, so you have lots of options for a PC to go through and modify all these wonderful things to do what you want to with the game. Yes! Finally! Yes! Finally! Yeah, not so tough now, are you? Who's burning? Yeah, I'm stepping in your ashes. You like that? You like having your ashes stepped on? I know I like stepping on your ashes. You jerk. It only took like an hour and some change to get here, but I am now going to finally see what the hell this damn door is all about. I've been fighting these two butts for what seems like a year. Okay, go ahead and authorize me. Scan. Are you serious? Access denied? No! Son of a bitch! One other minor negative to bring up is the voice acting is sometimes terrible in this game.
Seems you've got a screw loose somewhere.
Thanks for your concern. Error. No loose screws found.
Like I said, that only just those two minor little things, and even one of those is something that a lot of you will probably not even consider a negative. As far as rating's concerned, I definitely consider this game easily a 9 out of 10. The minor points I've mentioned for negatives, not really that big of a deal. They're things that are quite easy to overlook when there's so much breadth and depth to the game itself. Would I value this at full price? I would. I would say that this is easily a $60 game. And that's something that is good because at a $60 value, this game is actually only $50. If you currently are looking at it on Steam, that's $50 US is what it's selling for. But I would say that if this had been $60, I still would have purchased it. Quite happily so, as a matter of fact. But all of that said, folks, I would like to thank everyone for watching. Let me know what you thought of this game. If you've played The Surge, go ahead and throw a comment down below. What do you think of it? If you've been looking at it and considering it, feel free to go ahead and put some thoughts out there. Is there any questions you have? I'll be more than happy to answer if I have the ability to do so. But as always, I am the Brain Damage Gamer. Thanks again for watching, and as always, game on.